Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. I'm in Atlanta at the Atlanta Regional Flooring Show, and I'm with Jon England, the Senior Vice President of Residential Business with Shaw Industries. John, how you doing?
Doing good, Kemp.
Is it time to take a breath? We've just about gotten through show season, right?
Yeah, I think on the manufacturer-supplier side, we all need a minute to reacquaint ourselves with our own homes and beds. But it's been very exciting. All of the show attendance seems to be good. What I would say is most impressive is the interaction that we're having. It seems to be different. There's a lot of optimism out there. And, as we're looking and have telegraphed into the first half of the year to be a little bit slow, there's optimism and some decisions ahead of our industry that I think will be impactful that lead to a better second half and beyond, and really taking the time to think through how we position ourselves situationally to really come out in a much stronger way together.
There's multiple segments in the flooring business, and we're still hearing that the residential replacement business in January, because here we are in the middle of February, is still soft. I mean, the consumer is still not coming into the store that much, right?
Yeah, like I said, it's probably performed as we anticipated. There are some bright spots for us personally. What we're going to talk about today, I think, is really, it revolves around that, is as the economy is a little bit slower, I think we have an opportunity as a leader, Shaw Industries, is really position and influence and start to change our industry the way that it goes, because the facts are that consumers lost that value relationship with flooring. They are spending their money in other places, and we have to own changing that together with our customers, with the market, so that we can pull that value back in. What we do know from consumers is even though they may delay, those that put it in, once they do, they ask themselves the question, why didn't I do it earlier? So a lot of what we've been telegraphing to the market is holding on to some of that information and how we use it to be a better partner to our customers and ultimately influence that consumer and them see the value that flooring provides to their life, their home, and really everything that they do.
You mentioned this share of wallet. I mean, that's your why. The reason, the strategy you've got behind your 4 brands, you're using intel that you've gotten from research to develop the right products and then have a solution that you can offer your dealer, they in turn can offer to the consumer. Take us through these.
The consumer journey today, for our data tells us, is over 190 days. Some of the reasons for that is because it's confusing, it's complex, there's not clear line of sight to the value, and the consumer just doesn't have confidence. So that results in almost a 40% fallout of the consumers that get into that journey. So our goal with these brands and the positioning and what we will start to share with our customers in the industry is clarity, connection to those consumers that provide confidence and connection to the value, so that we can shorten that buy process cycle and ultimately influence that fallout rate. If we as an industry can influence that to where 40 goes to 30 goes to 20, we don't have to worry about economic indicators. We can really change the industry, and we want to lead in that space. So as it relates to Anderson Tuftex, we've done research on the consumers and really started to segment those on what their desire drivers are. So there is a part of the market that is eco-luxury driven, and we want to align Anderson Tuftex to that consumer segment. What that means, we are in the process of building together with our customers and internally so that we can connect those things, and we want to be transparent on that journey as we go with AT.
I walked through the space just a minute ago. John Stevens took me through, and you've got 17 new carpet styles, and I think 3 or 4 new wood styles. And I'm looking at where styling-wise, everything's branded ANSO, whether it be on the PET side or the nylon side. But I'm seeing, like Haven Crest, where you've integrated both a color pattern with basket weave. It's worth taking a look at. So, look, I can see where you've spent some time there.
Yeah, and even though we're not crystallized exactly AT, we're starting to implement that in some of our actions, which you'll see. So you see it in the hardwood piece, you've seen it in carpet. Some things behind the scenes is really moving products that were not in that luxury eco space out of the AT brand, because it dilutes that connectivity, and taking some of the Shaw Floors carpet products that were in the upper end, kind of luxury, putting those up into AT so that we have clear, separation of brands. And I think that will be that confidence driver that connects to a consumer that we're after.
One last word on that. I'm seeing where you're using Card Monroe's tailored loop machinery in AT, which is where it belongs. It belongs on the upper end. So I hear what you're saying. So it's eco-conscious luxury consumer, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, tell us about Cortech.
So Cortech, it has a wonderful foundation as well to build from. That's going to be targeted in the practical consumer, which we will start to telegraph some of what that means, but really have 5 drivers around the flooring decision. But we're going to establish this kind of the premium space inside practical, and we want that to really be a differentiated brand that it once was, but not the same way. We want to make it impactful. We want to have consumers walking in the door to our retail partners and saying, I want Cortech. We believe that is a silver bullet for the consumer from a satisfaction standpoint, but also for our retailers and partners to capture the opportunity that we build. And that's where we're spending a lot of investing in the consumer. And it's not to bypass the retailer. Again, it's to be that partner that we can influence, connect, and bring back through the retail environment for the products and inspiration that they're after.
And you got Nikki Rayburn running that segment, right?
Absolutely, and she is 100% the right person as we move into connecting with that consumer in a myriad of ways. She has a passion for that, a passion for Cortech, and we have great aspirations for her.
Yeah, I think her first job out of college was with an ad agency, so she knows marketing.
It was, and you can see that shine daily.
All right, how about Shaw Floors?
Shaw Floors, what a legacy, what a tradition. It carries so much in what it delivers to our customers and even to consumers. We want to build on that legacy. We want to target the mass price point market, focusing in the practical consumer, but really elevate that to be even more than it ever was, and really focus on the things that people have come to trust from Shaw, the things that I think we both have taken for granted for a while when it comes to quality, when it comes to service. Those elements that sometimes we lose, those are connectable to the consumer as well and connectable for all of us to be more successful. I think some bright spots inside Shaw that you've seen is this Pet Perfect emergence, and that's a great example of connecting a consumer desire with the right product and the right story that resonates. And we're seeing that flourish in such an incredible way. But we're clear, we're precise on the story that we want to tell. We're not telling 7 different stories. They are products built for the pet owner and the pet itself. So I think you'll see us really take that franchise to a new level and expand that in bigger and bolder ways.
And that's hard and soft surface.
Pet Perfect is a platform that you can do a myriad of things with. It doesn't lock you into a fiber, a flooring type, a thickness, a width. It is Pet Perfect. So anything that we put in that will meet that standard, and it is making our retailers successful in connecting with consumers.
All right, just do a minute on Philly before we run out of time.
Absolutely. So with Philadelphia, brought a brand new leader in, Brad Harvey, who has a great mind and experience in the commercial side of the business. And he's going to embrace that business to see how much more it can be. A lot of our retail customers have this local community connection to a lot of this Main Street business, mostly discretionary. So we want to provide the right products through the right stories and the right brand to afford them the opportunity to capture as much of that locally as possible. We believe that really has probably the biggest percentage growth opportunity for us, and really want to accelerate that into the market.
And it's been well received by your customers.
100%. I would say the only thing that's been lacking is some of the clarity around the why, and I hope this answers some of that. And I think what the luxury that we have is that trust, that legacy that's been around forever. As we go on this journey to reshape ourselves and reshape together, we're wanting to point to a different future that is much more prosperous for all of us, partnering together. And I think that if you look at the DNA of Shaw, it's around the customer. If you look at the legacy of Shaw, we've built, I think, the legacy of trust, and we want to utilize that to be the leader and lead our industry to a new place.
John, well, it's good to talk to you, and thanks for giving us a rundown on what's going on with Shaw here at the Atlanta market. Again, been talking to Jon England, the Senior Vice President of Residential Business with Shaw Industries, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.